Hey, welcome back to another great week of sixth grade social studies. It is the week of November 13th, and it is the last week of the trimester. Sixth grade year, trimester 1 is already over. It goes by like that, holy smokes. This is the final week, but we are in the middle of our unit about natural hazards and natural disasters. All of this is going into the trimester 2 grade book. So everything that we have done so far, our last assessment was the climate zones and factors. And speaking of grades, so all the students know this. We've all had like one-on-one meetings with any student that had missing assignments or lacking assessments that they still have the ability to retake. All of those retakes for any of those assessments are due by Wednesday. So by after school on Tuesday, they have to retake those. Many students are already signed up to take some on Monday, and this is the opportunity for trimester 1 to replace, revise, re-edit poor scores in PowerSchool. It's like an ample opportunity to make sure we finish strong. So everything is done, but the retakes are still an option. So this week we have 3 full days and then we have 2 half days. Students will go to 4th, 5th, and 6th hour on Friday and then 1st, 2nd, and 3rd hour on Thursday. So for every student that has all of their work in, no missing assignments or anything like that, they are going to participate in, we're going to have a fun activity day in class on that Thursday and Friday for each hour. Those students that have missing assignments, incomplete assignments, what they don't have done, they're going to have to do work while we are having an activity day. Hopefully more incentive to get everything in. On top of that, last week on Thursday and Friday, we did some readings and breaking down text, learning about a few different natural hazards, everything from volcanoes and earthquakes, hurricanes, landslides, tsunamis, and some of the causes and some of the effects of those natural hazards. As we talked about in last week in class, in social studies, we talk a little bit about how a lot of these things happen in terms of like the geologic effects that cause a lot of these natural hazards. But Mrs. Finkbeiner later on in the year is going to get way into the earthy part of that. In social studies, we really focus more on how these natural hazards turn into disasters, meaning how these natural events like hurricanes, tornadoes, and tsunamis can affect people, and what do people do to prevent damage and then recover from these things. So we learn about different parts of the world that are prone to natural disasters, and then what are like the methods to help. Last week, we talked a little bit about it. Monday, we're going to discuss actual ways that people around the world prevent damage, things like building levees and dams in areas that are highly exposed to floods. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday, students are going to put that information together on a poster. They're going to pick a natural disaster of their choosing, whether it be hurricanes or volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and they're going to put some causes, some effects of those natural hazards, and then they're going to put some prevention methods to minimize damage, and then they're going to pick one specific natural disaster in the history of the world, and they're going to do a little bit of research and put some info on that natural disaster. By the time we get to Tuesday and Wednesday, they have all of the information. It's just putting it on a poster, displaying their natural hazards and disasters research on a poster. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. But again, that will be picked up in trimester 2 after Thanksgiving break. That seemed like a lot. Hopefully it wasn't that much. It's the final week of trimester 1 in 6th grade social.